Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Falcon Park, where the Doubledays are getting their home stand started this weekend with a game tonight against the Geneva Red Wings and then a game tomorrow night versus the Geneva Red Wings as well. The Doubledays entering into this game starting out at 10-13 on the summer so far, 6.5 games back of the divisional lead, looking to take advantage of a struggling Geneva baseball club who's only 5-6 so far this year, 10.5 back of the division lead, 2 spots behind the Doubledays. Trevor Curl up here on a gorgeous night for baseball here inside Falcon Park. Let's read you off the starting lineups for tonight's game. First, for the visitors in the Geneva Red Wings, as announced by manager Andrew Drum. Leading things off will be the shortstop, Tyler Saram. Batting second will be the second baseman, Ricardo Reyna. Batting third will be the first baseman, Andrew Eppinger. Batting fourth will be the designated hitter, Jason Shockley. Batting fifth will be the catcher, Brennan Stobley. Batting sixth will be the left fielder, Ryan Knight. Batting seventh will be the third baseman, Cameron Boardman. Batting eighth will be the right fielder, Wyatt Peshet. Batting ninth will be the extra hitter in John Ayler. And batting 10th, rounding off the order, the center fielder, Nate Milk. And now let's take a look at the Doubledays starting lineup as announced by manager Ben Julian. Leading things off will be the newcomer from Cayuga College, committed to Lenoir-Rhyne University in North Carolina. It's Fernando Espinal, the shortstop. Batting second is Hazel Martinez. He'll be doing the DHing. Batting third will be the right fielder, A.J. Wenrich. Batting fourth will be the catcher, Bobby Stang. Batting fifth will be the extra hitter, Garrett Prosper. Batting sixth will be the left fielder, Christian Melillo. Batting seventh will be the first baseman, Hal Walker Jr. Batting eighth will be the third baseman, Michael Woolley. Batting ninth will be the second baseman, Kevin Dolan. And rounding off the order, batting 10th, will be the center fielder, Emil Sander. Well, the Doubledays entering into this ball game, losing 3 straight games, 1 to the Geneva Red Wings and 2 to the Elmira Pioneers. The Doubledays looking to get their season back on track. It starts with a win tonight, and then you got the rest of your season to start making a scramble. As we take a look at this Doubledays roster going forward, in a couple of days, no more newcomers. That is it. It is all done. Your roster is set, and that is it for your summer. Adding players, taking them off your roster. You have Wednesday, that is it, and then you take that team all the way to the playoffs. So in a way, it's kind of like your trade deadline of some sorts. Well, for the Doubledays, they're being 6.5 games back. They got a lot of work to do, but they have a very healthy schedule to help them out with that. They have plenty of games against these Red Wings still coming up. You have a couple against Batavia who you can make a run at the starting, but then you also have the rest of the season against Newark, a couple of other games added as well to the roster and the schedule, so we are ready for baseball. Lineups are being exchanged at home plate by the managers. We'll take a quick break here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. We'll give you the starting lineups when they take the field, pitching probables, and then much, much more. And then it's Doubledays Baseball right after this.
Good evening, fans. Welcome to the old Pinky Field at Falcon Park, and welcome to tonight's Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League matchup between the Geneva Red Wings and your Auburn Doubledays. Ladies and gentlemen, the student athletes of the Perfect Game CBL ask fans to support the goals of good sportsmanship. Please help them to maintain a positive, competitive atmosphere as they strive to reach their potential as athletes. Courtesy to officials, coaches, and competitors is expected. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, taunting, and intimidating actions are expressions of poor sportsmanship and are grounds for removal from this venue. We appreciate and thank you for your support and encouragement. Be loud, be proud, and be positive. And fans, before we get started with tonight's game, we'd like to recognize this week's Players of the Week. Out in the third base coaching box with Tim, we want to welcome number 22, pitcher Jake Geneva. tonight's game. First for Geneva, leading off shortstop, number 9, Tyler Surround. Batting second baseman, number 3, Ricardo Reyna. Batting third, the first baseman, number 41, Andrew Eppinger. Batting fourth, designated hitter, number 38, Jason Shockley. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 39, Brennan Stobley. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 25, Ryan Knight. Batting seventh, third baseman, number 1, Cameron Boardman. Batting eighth, right fielder, number 26, Wyatt Patchett. Batting ninth, the extra hitter, number 2, John Aller. And batting 10th, center fielder, number 40, Nate Milk. The starting pitcher for Geneva is number 20, Hayden Smith. The Red Wings are coached by Dan Munn, assisted by Jackson Dijon, Edgar Martinez, and pitching coach Winfred Nelson. Fans, please direct your attention to the scoreboard in left center field at this time.
Pitch on the way, check swing, does he go around? Yes, he does. The throw to first base to retire the side. 9 strikeouts on the ball game for Huxley Olkin. The 1-2 pitch on the way, fouled it into the glove of Bobby for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Jake Daniela. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way, swing, a line drive. That's going to split the alley. It's headed for Abner's alley into the left center field corner. Here goes Malillo. He's taking a turn. He wants 3. Here's the throw in. It's going to be cut off. And Christian Malillo's having himself an evening to remember. Lane Conlon, right field. Ron has a really good arm. Let's see if they'll test him. Catch is made. Runner tag. Throw the plates on time. The tag applied. And it's in time to get him. Tommy Roldan unleashes a cannon from right field.
All right, friends, it's time now to meet the starting lineup for your Auburn Doubledays. Leading off shortstop, number 4, Fernando Espinal. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 29, Hazel Martinez. Batting third, right fielder, number 3, A.J. Wenrich. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 30, Bobby Stang. Batting fifth, the extra hitter, number 16, Garrett Rusper. Batting sixth, left fielder, number 12, Kristen Melillo. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 18, Al Walker Jr. Batting eighth, third baseman, number 23, Michael Woolley. Batting ninth, second baseman, number 19, Kevin Jolin. And batting 10th, center fielder, number 34, Emil Sender. Starting pitcher for the Doubledays is number 17, Sam coaching model. Hope is out there with a couple of Doubledays fans. What do you have with you, Hope?
Brandon, this is Molly. Well, the Doubledays have taken the field, so that means it's time to play ball.
Well, the two most magical words in baseball have been said down the third baseline. Play ball. The Doubledays have taken the field behind Sam Huff. Let's take a look at how they'll line up defensively. Going out from left to right, Christian Malillo takes over in left field. Emil Sander in center. A.J. Wenrich out in right. Michael Woolley at the hot corner. Fernando Espinal over at shortstop. Kevin Dolan up the middle as well at second base. Hal Walker Jr. anchors the infield over at first. And Bobby Stang behind the plate, the back end of the battery. Sam Huff so far this year, 1-0 on the summer. He's given up 20 hits, 8 runs, only 6 of those were earned. Has walked 9, struck out 16 opponents, batting .286 on the Doubledays. Fast go throwing right-hander. And he goes quick with the tempo when we mean fast. He's not really a guy who's going to light up a radar gun, but he is going to get the baseball back from the catcher and get right back on the rubber and go right after this Geneva lineup. Speaking of which, let's take a look at how the Red Wings will line up going against Huff tonight. Taylor Saram will lead things off playing shortstop. Ricardo Reyna over at second base, batting second. Batting third, Andrew Eppinger. He'll be playing first base. Jason Shockley batting fourth. He'll be doing the DHing. Batting fifth, there's a catcher tonight, Brennan Stabley. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Ryan Knight. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Cameron Boardman. Batting eighth will be the right fielder, Wyatt Pichette. Batting ninth will be the extra hitter, John Ayler. And batting 10th, rounding off the order, will be the center fielder, Nate Milk. Bobby Stang sends the throw down to second base, and we are just about to get underway tonight. 7:04 on the clock. It'll be about 7:05 when we get our first pitch actually thrown in.
Shortstop number 9, Tyler Saram.
As Sam Huff works from the windup to begin the ball game. The Doubledays in their home whites with Doubledays scrawled across the chest. Geneva in their road grays with Geneva written in blocked red letters. Huff's ready. The first pitch on the way. Fastball upstairs taken for a called first strike. And we are underway. 76 degrees, partly cloudy skies overhead. 74% humidity with rain coming in earlier this afternoon. But we are all dry and ready for baseball as Huff's 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball taken upstairs. The count will even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Doubledays trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. That got started back on the 4th of July. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Huff on the way. Swing and a miss for the second strike. Huff back with the baseball, back up on the mound. Auburn pitching so far this year has been quite solid, a .382 team ERA. They've given up 96 runs. Only 80 of those were earned as Huff delivers the 1-2 pitch from the wind. Fastball runs upstairs for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 157 hits allowed, 33 doubles, 7 triples, 3 home runs allowed. That's the big number so far. Huff on the windup. Kicks the 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1 on the evening for Sam Huff as the baseball gets tossed around the Doubledays infield. And there's one away for the second baseman, Ricardo Reyna.
Now batting the second baseman, number 3, Ricardo Reyna.
Opponents only batting .226 against the Doubledays pitching staff so far. That's a pretty solid number to have. Even though the record does say 10-13 as Huff delivers the first pitch, fastball taken outside for ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. It's not been that case of a season so far where pitching just hasn't been getting the job done. You're kind of feeling like 3 runs a game should be enough for the Doubledays to exit with victories as the 1-0 pitch comes in, swinging a ground ball, tapped over to shortstop. Espinal gets his first chance and sends a low throw to Hal Walker Jr., and it is in time to get Reyna down the first baseline. That will bring up Andrew Eppinger.
Now batting the first baseman, number 41, Andrew Eppinger.
Well, that was Ben Julian's message to the team that even though we might have a losing record at 10-3 or 10-13, excuse me, right now, it doesn't feel like a 10-13 summer. As most teams usually do get behind, they really struggle with scoring runs as the first pitch is a breaking ball that snaps in too much inside for ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes on Eppinger. But regardless, though, the Doubledays offense has taken a little bit of a backseat over the last couple of days as the 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, make that a fastball taken at the top of the zone for a called strike 1, evens up the count at 1-1. And you just have a feeling that at some point when the pitching staff just continues to dominate as well as they have, that offense at some point will just turn the dial and get back to their swinging ways as the 1-1 pitch comes in. Fastball taken for a called strike 2 on the outside corner, and Huff is now 1 strike away from a clean first inning. Comes set, looks in. Eppinger rocking the bat back and forth. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 2, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Doubledays offense over the last couple of games have only been able to squirm 4 runs across. It's been a struggle, but the pitching staff has been able to limit each team to 3 runs or less as the 2-2 pitch comes in. Breaking ball taken just a tick off the inside corner. And the count now runs full 3-2. McLum behind the plate tonight for the home umpire crew, and then Justin Mack down the line for the field crew as a fastball runs down and away for ball 4. So a 2-out walk, maybe should have been a 3rd strike. Ends up on at first base with 2A. That will bring up the designated hitter tonight in Jason Shockley. As we roll into the middle month of July, we have a game tonight against these Red Wings, game tomorrow night against these Red Wings. That'll be a firework night, so a big crowd will be expected, so get your tickets now. Short lead off first base. Here comes the first pitch. A little breaking ball gets an ugly swing and a miss from Shockley, trying to hold back. Said just kind of whips the barrel of the bat through. No balls and a strike. Eppinger, the runner at first base, works out his lead and a couple of buff moves to second as a breaking ball misses in the dirt. Good stop by Bobby to keep it in front. Count will even up at 1-1. Outfield for the Doubledays, Melillo playing deeper in left field. Sander playing quite shallow in center. And A.J. Wenrich in right playing straight up. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike 2. And Huff is once again back in his 1 strike away from ending the top of the first inning. Huff comes set, working from the third base side when he has a runner on. The 1-2 pitch on the way, breaking ball, spoiled foul down the line. Walker gives it a look, but it will end up out into the restricted area down by the visitors' clubhouse. Eppinger motors his way back to first base. Shockley, very back of the batter's box with a very closed off stance. Left foot's pointing out towards right center field. Huff ready, comes set. Eppinger with his lead off first. Long pause. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball. Man, you really don't know where some of these pitches are missing. That was a good fastball on the outside corner. Just doesn't get the call, however, so the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was another thing, another message from Ben Julian to the boys back in the clubhouse this morning as a 2-2 pitch is taken down low for ball 3, 3-2, and now Eppinger will have a head start at first base. Don't get pressed about the umpires. Understand that they might not be as tight of a zone as you would think they should have as the runner takes off. 3-2 pitch, sun on the ground over to first base. Espinal has it, long throw across. He sends it right to the chest of Hal Walker Jr. to retire the side. Well, Geneva gets 1 man on, but leave him stranded. We now go to the bottom half of the first inning. Geneva 0 and the Doubledays coming up.
So please sit in the location indicated on your ticket. We thank you for your understanding and your cooperation.
And welcome back to Falcon Park. The Doubledays will get their offense going here as we get rolling in the bottom half of the first inning. Let's take a look at Hayden Smith on the mound for Geneva, a right-hander with an ERA of .450 so far this year. 0-2 start to the summer. 10 innings pitched, he's given up 7 hits, 5 runs. They're all earned. Has walked 6, struck out 12. Opponents batting $1.89. Well, it's clear and cut that the Doubledays are going to have to find their offense. Again, we mentioned back in the top half of the first inning that the Doubledays in the last 4 games have only been able to muster 4 runs, which is very unlike them because this year they were scoring these runs pretty much at a premium. 134 to be exact to this point. We've only gotten a couple of runs added to that totals over the last couple of games. Hopefully a new face might help us out, and leading things off, making his way to the right-hand batter's box, it is Fernando Espinal. No stranger to Falcon Park, the Cayuga College alumni. Now currently committed to Lenoir-Rhyne University down in North Carolina. Makes his way up to the batter's box to face off against Hayden Smith. As the right-hander working from the first base side of the rubber, comes set from the belt. The first pitch, fastball taken low and away for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Espinal straight from the heart of the city of New York. Made his way out to Cayuga last year, and then a couple of summers spent playing summer ball for the New York Pilots back in 2022 as he fouls one back to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike evens up the count. And for the summer of 2023, I should say, the first part of the summer, he was down in the Coastal Plains League down in the Carolinas. Here's the pitch on the way. Breaking ball sent foul down right back to the backstop, so we will try it again now with 1-2. Right-hander and Smith looks in, gets his sign from his backstop. And Brendan Stobley comes set, looks in. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs up and inside for ball 2, and the count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Made his way into the clubhouse this morning. Got a couple of seconds to chat with him. He's excited, looking for an opportunity to win some ball games. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Taken for a called third strike on the outside corner. Home plate umpire Milton Lum rings up Espinal on a low inside or low outside pitch, I should say, just grazing the knees. So welcome to the Doubledays. Strikeout looking to begin the ball game, 1 away, and that will bring up Hazel Martinez. It's been a good year for Hazel so far. Batting .302 to begin the summer. Here we are in the midpoint now. 16 for 53. First pitch, fastball taken on the inside for a called first strike, 0-1. Right-hander Smith looks in. Martinez, big open stance on the left side. Fastball runs up and away for ball 1. That evens up the count at 1-1. Doubledays have seen these Red Wings quite a bit so far this year. 4-1 against them. Have won all their games here at home, but it was the July 4th on the road in Geneva. The Doubledays saw their first loss of the year come to the Red Wings as a fastball misses outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike now. Healthy crowd on hand here for this Friday evening. Still plenty of seats to be had inside the ballpark. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. Here it comes. Swing to pop up, shallow center field. Nate Milk does not have much to move. He goes into the left center field gap a couple of steps and then makes the catch for out number 2. That will bring up A.J. Wenrich. Entering into this ball game, the Doubledays as a team were batting .244. It was only a couple of games ago. Let's take you back to that 4th of July ball game where the Doubledays were entering into that game as a team batting .259. So it has been a tough week here in the second week of July to get the offense rolling. First pitch to Wenrich is a breaking ball taken low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Wenrich has really picked it up over the last couple of games. started out the year really cold as a pitch is sent foul down the first base side, and the count will even up at 1-1. Readjust the batting gloves, or taking a tap of the helmet, looking at the bat before digging himself in. Working from the right-handed side of the box against Hayden Smith, the right-hander as well. With a nod to the sign, he comes set. Looks in, Wenrich waiting. 1-1 pitch, fastball taken upstairs for a called strike 2, right at the letters. And Wenrich has to battle back down 1-2. 2 quick outs for the Doubledays here in the bottom half of the second inning. Smith looks in. A 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Thought Wenrich might have gotten a very end of the bat on it, but it ends up swinging right through a breaking ball and strikes out to end the bottom half of the first inning. We now go to the top half of the second. Both sides locked up in a 0-0 battle.
Or 10 for $5. So please support the Doubledays while giving yourself a chance to take home some serious cash. Tonight's winning ticket will be drawn at the end of the 7th inning. And fans, we remind you that tonight is $2 peanut night. All right, a nice big bag of peanuts like the one that Copa's holding up behind home plate. Just $2 over at the concession stand. Leading off for Geneva, the catcher.
And we're picking things up here in the top half of the second inning. Both ball clubs saw a 0 in the run column. Both of them also saw a 0 in the hit column. As we play on here in the top half of the second inning, Sam Huff back out for another inning of work. A first pitch, breaking ball misses low and outside. Ball 1 to the backstop tonight, Brennan Stobley. You always know when this guy is out on the field, he's got the electric yellow shoes. He's got batting gloves, bright yellow, as well as a fastball misses outside for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Also has the electric yellow oven mitt in his back pocket. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Stobley. Huff looks in, gets his sign. Stang sets up outside. The 2-0. Downstairs for ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes. Huff looks in at 3-0. Needs to get a strike here to keep this at bat alive. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken inside for a called strike 1, 3-1. Geneva entering into this ball game. It could be worse for the Doubledays. That is for certain. A $1.75 a team average. Huff delivers a 3-1 pitch on the way. Fastball outside for ball 4. Second walk surrendered so far tonight for Huff. And then he has the leadoff guy on for Ryan Knight, the left fielder. Well, to continue on, this ball club for Geneva has only been able to score 62 runs this year. 104 hits, 21 doubles, 1 triple, 4 home runs. Walked 91 times, however, so they can find a way on base as a first pitch is a swing and a miss on a good fastball running inside on the hands of Knight. No balls and a strike. Brennan Stobley with the walk aboard at first base. Huff from the set, looks in. Still working from the third base side. Here comes the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball through the open 4-hole for a base hit. Taking the turn around second is Stobley. He holds there as Wenrich has the ball. Sends a throw into third base and blocked up by Michael Woolley at third. Keeps the runners held up at first and second. First hit of the ball game delivered by Ryan Knight. And Geneva has their first opportunity now with the third baseman Cameron Boardman hitting. "21 doubles, 1 triple, 4 home runs. Only 26 extra base hits as a fastball runs down low for ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. Compare that to the Doubledays side. 175 hits. You have 47 doubles, 9 triples, and 6 home runs. Just look at the slugging percentages for both sides as well. Huff delivers the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. A big miss with Boardman ending up on his back knee, a la Adrian Beltre. Now the count evens up at 1-1. A .234 team slugging percentage for Geneva compared to a .359 team slugging for the Doubledays. Well, the extra base hit has certainly been no stranger for Auburn this year. Trouble in, 1-1 pitch. Line drive up the middle. It's through for a base hit. Emil Sanders up with it. Getting the wave on around third is Stobley. The throw will be cut off by Hal Walker Jr. And it is a 1-0 Geneva lead here in the top half of the second inning. Runners move up station to station. It's first and second again on the RBI single. Well, it's a fastball up and over the plate and just slapped right back up the middle by Boardman. And that walk comes back to hurt the Doubledays right away. It's 1-0 in favor of Geneva. Huff looks in. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball taken outside, ball 1 to Wyatt Pichette. Getting the start in right field tonight with the dark forest green helmet on. That's what you like about summer ball, especially you have to like what Geneva's got with the red colors, but they allow their players to use their team's helmets when they come in. 1-0 pitch, swinging a foul back to the screen. Count evens up at 1-1. I do like to see a couple of the teams with different guys. You see what school they go to. Well, some of the Doubledays guys do have their own helmets. You mostly see them wearing the team-issued Doubledays helmets that they come out with. But it's interesting to see what other ball clubs work with, and for Geneva, they're allowing their guys to use their school helmets, and it kind of shows a unique personality of each of the players as a breaking ball misses down low for ball 2, 2-1. Well, the Cape League is certainly a league that also shows off the players, their schools they go to back down in Massachusetts. Oldest summer ball league in the country down there. 2 balls and a strike, the pitch on the way, swinging a foul back to the screen, and the count will even up at 2-2. Still nobody away here in the top half of the second inning. Brandon Stobley got the inning started with a leadoff walk. He made his way all around to score. Ryan Knight's aboard at second base. Cameron Boardman aboard at first after delivering that RBI single. Huff looks in, gets his sign. Stang sets up away. The 2 pitch is taken foul back to the screen, so we'll try it again at 2-2. Bat boy for the Doubledays working on overtime right now. He's been getting his wind sprints in, especially with this at bat. Lights are on here inside Falcon Park, even though the natural sunlight still is beaming in beyond the third base dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody away for Pichette. Bases with runners on second and first. A breaking ball misses up and inside for ball 3, and the count runs full. Huff wants a new baseball from the home plate umpire. Nobody getting loose yet for the Doubledays, so not enough trouble for Huff here in the early going. Yesterday was a bullpen day for the Doubledays against Elmira. Andrew Isdale got the start, and that one did relatively well in his 4 innings of work. The 3-2, swing and a miss. Huff gets his second strikeout of the ballgame, first out of the inning, and one away for John Ayler. Extra hitter tonight for the Red Wings. Still runners at first and second. 1 away. Doubledays infield pinched up the middle with the double play ball. Al Walker Jr. playing in on the grass. The first pitch in the dirt taken for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Doubledays were entering into this ball game outscoring their opponents by 38 runs. It's been a tough recipe when you still look at a below 500 record as a fastball taken on the inside corner for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike evens up the count. And against the Red Wings, Auburn outscoring Geneva by 32 runs. 14-run and 16-run game certainly aids in those. Dancing off the bag at second, the breaking ball's popped up on the infield. Who wants it? Michael Woolley calls it. Infield fly rule in effect from both umpires as Woolley comes down with the baseball. And there's 2 away here in the top half of the second inning. I'll bring up the center fielder, Nate Milk. Huff grabs some of the rosin back behind the rubber, tapping it before wiping it on his back right leg. Runner still at first and second, 2 away. Ryan Knight aboard at second, Boardman aboard at first base. Huff, couple of looks. The first pitch, breaking ball taken outside, ball 1 to Nate Milk. Last time Milk took on these Doubledays, you got to go back to July the 1st as a swing and a miss comes on the outside corner. Count evens up at 1-1. In that ball game, Milk went 0 for 3. Strikeout, pop out, and a ground out. Huff comes set, looks at the runners. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, swinging a fly ball into center field right to Emil Sander, who moves in a couple of steps. He's there to make the catch, and the side is retired. Well, Geneva does get a run across, but that is all they are able to afford. They leave a couple of runners stranded as we now go to the bottom half of the second inning. Doubledays trailing 1-0.
Appreciation to the men and women who have given so much to serve our great country. We proudly request that any current or former members of our armed forces please stand to be recognized.
Moving things forward here in the bottom half of the second inning, the Doubledays have to meet their order 4, 5, and 6 due up after the 1, 2, 3 bottom half of the first inning. Bobby Stang, Garrett Prosper, Christian Malillo, all due up in order. For Bobby, it's been a fantastic summer so far. Kind of cooled off a little bit over the last couple of days. Did have a 3-double night though a couple of nights ago as the first pitch comes in. Breaking ball taken upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Bobby batting .333 on the summer, 26 for 78, 16 doubles, 1 home run. Also leads the ball club in RBIs with 22. Here comes Smith's 1-0 to the plate for Bobby. Fastball taken down below the knees for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Mick Lum, the home plate umpire, has been an interesting zone so far for the first couple of innings so far. Haven't gotten a read on where it is yet. Smith looks in, 2-0 pitch coming to Bobby. Swing and a miss, good healthy hack on a fastball outside. Count rolls to 2 balls and 1 strike. $2 peanut night here inside Falcon Park, so a pretty good audience here for another Doubledays home ball game entering into the weekend. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way, swinging a foul back to the screen. Bobby just a little late on an inside fastball, and the count evens up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. For the Doubledays, hitting at home this year, it's been a pretty average start. 242 average, 72 runs, 87 hits, 31 doubles, 7 triples, 2 home runs. Smith comes set, looks in. Bobby down to a 2-2 pitch. taken and a swing and a miss for strike 3. A good breaking ball comes from the right hand arm of Hayden Smith. Third strikeout of the ball game. He's really had that breaking ball going. First out, and that will bring up Garrett Prosper. Prosper batting .241 to start the year. Missed about a week or so of play with a groin issue. That was back against Newark a couple of weeks ago. That was actually back on Father's Day. First pitch is a fastball taken for strike 1 on the outside edge. No balls and a strike. Said he felt a lot better, though, coming out of the week after a nice long rest day. Getting the EH job tonight. Here's the 0-1. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike evens up the count. It's been the on-base advantage for Prosper so far. Getting on base at a .357 clip. Right-hander Smith looks in. Pauses at the belt. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a foul right off the mask of the catcher, Brennan Stobley. He's going to take an extra second to breathe and relax a little bit, but the bat boy caught the baseball back on the ricochet off the facade of the overhang above us. Got a pretty good cheer from the Doubledays bench. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Smith looking for strikeout number 4 on the evening. Prosper looking to get the Doubledays on the hit column. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball lined over the shortstop. Taylor Saram has it. Long throw across. Pulls him off the bag. No, it's in time. It looked like Andrew Reppinger, the first baseman, might have pulled his right foot just a little early. Field umpire Justin May said he's got his foot on the bag, so that is a 6-3 put out for the second out of the inning, and that will bring up Christian Malillo. Auburn offense still looking to get rolling. No hits so far. 2 hits and a run scored for Geneva. Right-hander Smith looks into the switch hitters. Fastball misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strike. Christian had himself one of the best weeks out of anyone in the West Division. That's why he got the player of the week a couple of weeks ago. A 1-0 pitch. Fastball taken outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Then got hit with a little stomach bug. Though he did play through it, it certainly was not a feeling anybody wants to have. Almost like you're sick with the flu, but you don't still have the flu yet. You just feel completely out of a ball game. Tough to hit with that. 2-0 pitch coming. Fastball upstairs for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Malillo has a little bit of every stat on the category so far this year, entering batting .281. We saw that average almost up to 400 back during that week when he was the player of the week. 3-0 pitch taken up at the eye level for ball 4. So the Doubledays have their first base runner of the ball game. It's a 2-out walk, and that will bring up Hal Walker Jr. Well, it's time for Hal to snap an 0 for 18. It's been a tough couple of ball games for the Doubledays first baseman. Always has such a great attitude, though, in the clubhouse every day. Oh, yesterday we saw a different side of Hal. Now, we haven't seen yet so far this year, with Malillo taking a lead off first. Here's the first pitch on the way. Fastball runs off outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, he got called for strike 2 and strike 3 borderline pitches last night in Elmira, and he was fuming heading back to the Doubledays dugout after that at bat. And we've never seen him get that angry so far at anyone, let alone umpire, as a 1-0 pitch is taken off the plate away for ball 2. 2-0, and seems like Hayden Smith doesn't exactly have an idea what the strike zone is either. Andrew Munn asking the home plate umpire Milklum where that fastball might have missed. Malillo, healthy lead off first base, 7 bags on the year. 2-0, taken on the outside corner for a called strike. 2-1 now. Does have 5 walks, though. So getting on base hasn't been the problem for Hal. It's just finding that solid contact. The last hit he had was against the Syracuse Saltcats back on June the 22nd. It was a ringing double in right center. There goes Malillo taking off. Breaking ball misses upstairs. The throw to second base is not in time. Stolen bag number 8 for Christian Malillo. Swipes the bag under the nose of Brennan Stobley, the catcher. That was taken upstairs for ball 3. It is indeed 3-1 the count. So the Doubledays have not only a runner in scoring position, but a good hitter's count for Hal Walker Jr. to possibly even get that first RBI. A little good speed aboard at second base works off. Couple of looks from Smith. Here comes the 3-1 pitch on the way to Walker. Swing and a miss, goes chasing upstairs for a fastball. And now the count runs full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Doubledays down 1 with the tying run sitting at second base. Right-hander Smith looks in. Comes set, closed off, first base side of the rubber. Couple looks over at Melillo at second. Working his lead, the 3-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball to the third baseman in Boardman. Long throw across the diamond is in time. And the Doubledays side is retired. Auburn gets a runner in scoring position but leaves him stranded. We now go to the top half of the third. We are in a 1-0 Red Wings lead.
Hey, to all our young fans who'd like to run the bases tonight, you'll be able to do that at the end of the third inning. And you need to meet Hope behind the right field grandstand. There in the bottom of the third. Hope is behind home plate right now, in the red t-shirt waiting to, okay, so all you young base runners, meet Hope behind the right field grandstand. They're in the bottom of the third.
Picking things up here in the top half of the third inning. The Red Wings will have their second time through the order against Sam Huff as the right-hander deals the first pitch behind Tyler Saram, the shortstop. Misses behind him for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Control. We haven't seen this control so far from Huff this year, as a good fastball off a swing and a miss outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike evens up the count. Only 1 walk so far. Make that 2 walks so far. First one was more competitive. Probably should have ended up as a strikeout. A 1-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a foul down the first base side off behind the grandstands for a 1-2 count. Well, you know, it's an interesting start to the evening when both pitchers grab the rosin bag early. Mentioned the 74% humidity is only going to climb as we get later into this ball game. A 1-2 pitch taken down low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes evens up the count. Like mentioned, we're going to have to look for that strike zone, as well as we've seen a couple of games. It is an ever-changing zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody away the pitch. Fastball runs upstairs for ball 3. Count runs full 3-2. This is the type of control we were talking about with Huff. Gets ahead of a guy early, 1-2, and then just starts falling behind and now has to battle at 3-2. Here comes the full count pitch in. Swinging a line drive right to third base. 1 hopper to Michael Woolley. Sets his feet, sends a throw up the line, but still hanging on the bag in time is Hal Walker Jr. on the back end. Leadoff man retired. That will bring up Ricardo Reyna.
Now batting the second baseman, Ricardo Reyna.
Ground out to short his first time up. 0 for 1 to begin this evening. And we've seen these Red Wings already quite a bit so far. Saw them 3 times in the month of June. We've only seen them twice so now in the month of July. Off the hands, ground ball to shortstop. Espinal has it on the run, flicks it over to Walker. Back-to-back ground outs, the shortstop for Ricardo Reyna. That certainly doesn't raise your average. Does raise the fielding percentage, though, for Fernando Espinal here this evening, as that will bring up Andrew Eppinger, the three-hitter. Walked his first time up, but he should have maybe a solid strike three. A good fastball low and outside. Did not get the call. 2 quick outs. Huff, first pitch, breaking ball, and Bobby Stang jumps out of the squat. Another breaking ball doesn't snap on the front side. 1 ball and no strikes the count to the three-hitter for Geneva. Huff from the windup, glove just over the nose. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Breaking ball, spoiled foul down the third base side over towards the third base coach's box of Andrew Drum. Beautiful evening for baseball. Sun still shining right through the trees and right over the Doubledays dugout onto the right side of the infield. That's why you see Hal Walker Jr. and A.J. Wenrich sporting the sunglasses. 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball does not snap either on the inside. 2 balls and a strike. Huff not really finding the feel of that breaking ball so far. And we saw that actually a couple of nights ago when Elmira came to town. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball over to third base. Woolley has got it. On the run, throws across, and a good reach by Hal Walker Jr. at first base. The infield for the Doubledays have been busy so far, but Sam Huff works a clean 1-2-3. We now go to the bottom half of the third inning. Doubledays still trailing 1-0. Eight, 9, and 10 due up for the Doubledays. Michael Woolley, Kevin Dolan, and Emil Sander all due up. So we'll start off with the Villanova third baseman. Entered in as a second baseman back at the beginning of the summer. We had Harrison Campy over at short. Carson Gross could be an option at shortstop. Now we have Fernando Espinal at short. So we had 3 guys now with capabilities of playing shortstop as a swing and a miss from Woolley. No balls and a strike. Well, now Campy is back down to Wofford College, so we hope he has an excellent fall season. Carson Gross has been the man in charge of the infield, but now with Fernando coming in, aiding, much-needed aid, gives Carson a chance to get off his feet as a breaking ball, questionable call at the bottom of the zone is taken for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. The count now to Michael Woolley. Mike entering into this ball game, batting .244, 11 for 45. He's been really doing his damage against left-handed pitching, though, this year. Right-hander Smith delivers the 0-2 pitch, swinging a little chopper over to third base, cutting it off is Boardman. The throw to first is in time, and that retires Woolley for out number 1. One away, that'll bring up the local product in Kevin Dolan, a SUNY Brockport kid, and well, every time he gets his name called, he certainly gets a little bit more of a round of applause. These Auburn faithful really do like their hometown guys. Dolan didn't get much experience so far in his freshman year of college. Still looking to get that first hit of the summer, 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch, but it did bring in an RBI. It's a ground ball over to second base. Ricardo Reyna right there, and it sends a short toss over to first base. Back-to-back groundouts for the Doubledays in the third inning, and that will bring up Emil Sander. Emil Sander batting a .176, 3 for 17 with an RBI, 3 walks. Not in a leadoff position, but in a certain way he kind of is in a second leadoff position. Anyone who bats 9 or 10 usually is seen as that way as he squares around a bunt and pulls it back for ball 1 outside. Well, we've seen Emil drop a bunt down before. That was, I believe, back against the Cortland Crush where he did that. That was back on June the 19th. Also had a game-tying single. The 1-0, squares around again, pulls it back. Fastball misses outside for ball 2, 2-0. That bunt that he did lay down was an absolute beauty down the third base line. There was no question about it. Third baseman just picks it up and put it in his back pocket. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch on the way. Fastball runs up and away for ball 3, 3-0. And most certainly the red light will be on for Emil here to get the Auburn offense a chance to find some more base runners. Only one man has reached so far. That was Christian Melillo on a walk with 2 outs back in the second. 3 balls, no strikes. Here comes the pitch on the way from Hayden Smith. Fastball dotted at the knees for a called strike 1. 3-1, the count rolls on. Emil readjusts the batting gloves. On base percentage of 300 on the dot. Smith looks in. Here comes a 3-1 pitch on the way, swinging a late ground ball down the first base side, all past the coach's box of Logan Matson. We'll send the umpire to retrieve the baseball down the line. Three balls, 2 strikes, full count now. Emil Sanders the batter. Hayden Smith on the mound for Geneva. Big open middle with Tyler Saram and Ricardo Reyna playing deep in the 4 and 6 holes. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a tapper foul down the third base side off the railing of the Doubledays dugout. So we'll try it again at a full count. Cannot complain about 73 degrees and sunny, especially for another beautiful July evening. Couple of weeks left of the 2023 summer. Smith looks in, couple of nods from the catcher Stabley, who sets up outside. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball taken off the plate outside for ball 4. So the second walk surrendered so far in this one. Puts a man on first base with 2 away, and that will flip the top of the order back up for Fernando Espinal. Fernando does not have a walk-up song yet this year, just came in the clubhouse today. So a little bit more of a quieter approach to the box. We'll sure to get that changed for him over the next couple of days as a move over to first base. Back in diving safely is Sander. You gotta think that sun might be a little bit of an issue, glaring right into his eyes. The first baseman in Andrew Eppinger does not have any sunglasses on as well, so he has to use his glove as his only shade as well as the brim of his hat. Emil with a short lead. Here comes the first pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes here to the Doubleday shortstop. For the Wilmington Sharks this year, that's where Fernando was earlier on. Went 1 for 5 with a stolen bag, as another move back to the bag safely is Sander on the dive. Fernando, no stranger to the PGCBL, was in Newark last year. Should mention a Cayuga College alumni. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs inside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And a good chance for Espinal to get something he can drive and utilize the unique corners and splits out in Falcon Park. We mentioned all the extra base hits numbers this year. 47 doubles, 9 triples, 6 home runs, and another move back to first base. Sander back in with another dive. Geneva not wanting anyone to take free passes to second after the stolen bag by Melillo. Emil with another very short lead at first base. Leans to second. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball. It will be dove. And what a play by Ricardo Reyna up the middle. Knocks the ball down and touches second base with his glove to retire the Doubledays in the 3rd inning. Got to find a way to avoid the baseball hitting towards anywhere of the second base bag vicinity. We now go to the top half of the 4th inning. Doubledays trailing 1-0.
All right, let's count it down. 5, 4, 3,
And we're moving things forward here in the top half of the fourth inning. The Doubledays trailing Geneva by a score of 1-0. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 as Jason Shockley will lead things off for the Red Wings. As the first pitch is a fastball, misses down low for ball one, 1 ball and no strikes. Shockley 0 for 1, a ground out back in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch from Huff. Good breaking ball, taken low and away for ball 2, and this could be a very frustrating evening for both pitchers who have seemed to find some really good pitches on the lower outside corner. Just nobody's getting that call yet. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball runs well off the plate away for ball 3, 3-0. Something to look at for both pitchers so far, trying to hit that low outside target, though they're not getting the call. They're feeling at some point you have to earn that call. 3-0 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive, roasted up the middle, but right to the chest height for Emil Sander. Makes the grab for out number 1. I'll bring it Brendan Stobley. He walked in later, came around to score back in the second inning. It's another example of pressing on the mound. When you have the umpire maybe not giving you those calls on the corners that you feel like you should be getting. You have to kind of give more hittable pitches. First pitch spiked in the dirt for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. No surprise for Huff. He's back on the mound, ready to go. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Huff starting to lose that really good ability that he had back in Geneva when he was really shoving it against the Red Wings. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way. Check swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does. Says the field umpire. 2-1 the count now. You have to imagine that at some point that might have been just taken for a strike and not needing a check swing called. 2 balls and a strike here, the count now. Huff delivers the windup. Here's the pitch. Slider off the end of the bat over to second base. Dolan's got it up the middle. Sends a soft toss over to first base, and it's in time for the second out. And that's going to be Sam Huff's bread and butter there. The weaker contact off the hand of the bat, off the end of the bat. Either or, as that will bring up Ryan Knight, who had a base hit back through the 4-hole in the second inning. But it's those constant little weak contact, very similar to that. Pop up to center field, right to Emil Sander. Center fielder for the Doubledays has been busy tonight as Sam Huff goes and asks for a home plate umpire where some of those pitches might be missing. We now go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Doubledays trailing 1-0.
Hey fans, it's the middle of the fourth inning, and that means it's time for the YMCA. So let's welcome the Doubledays players out onto the field, and hopefully up on top of the dugout, lead everybody in a couple of verses of the YMCA.
Yeah, because Sam's getting chewed out for running umpire. Bobby's getting like, hey, where the heck are these pitches missing? moving things along. We are already in the bottom half of the fourth inning, just about an hour into this one. The Doubledays offense has been looking for answers against Hayden Smith, who has just been dominant so far, only walking 2 guys. Those are the only men to reach base. So that'll bring up Hazel Martinez, 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Doubledays. He's 0 for 1, flew out to center his first time up with a fastball missing outside for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Even though this is not the situation for Hazel with runners in scoring position, he's batting .313 with 12 RBIs, 5 for 16. Here comes the 1-0. Taken outside for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. The count to the Doubledays designated hitter. Over the last 5 games for Hazel, it's been a little bit more of a slower go, 3 for his last 13. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 3, 3-0. And that's another thing to look out for Hazel. It's those walk numbers. 13 on the summer so far. Only 6 strikeouts. Anyone who walks more than they strike out is certainly eye candy, as a fastball is taken down and in for a called strike 1. 3-1 now the count to Hazel Martinez. I'd rather see Hazel swing the bat and try to get on second instead of reaching first on a walk. Here comes the 3-1 pitch on the way, down low for ball 4. So there's walk number 14 for Hazel Martinez. Walk number 3 of the evening for Hayden Smith. A leadoff base runner, however, is the more important aspect for the Doubledays, as that brings up A.J. Wenrich with an opportunity to hit with a runner on. Mentioned the Doubledays, over their last 5 games, it's been a little bit more of a struggle as a team. They're batting .245, scoring 33 runs. 38 hits so far in that stand, as fastball taken for a called strike 1 outside corner on Wenrich, 0-1. Martinez, not the best speed at first base, so he won't be going anywhere until that ball goes to the backstop. No balls and a strike. Wenrich the batter. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung and ground ball right back to the middle. Smith to second for 1 to Saram. The relay to first base, not in time. Wenrich beats it out on the back end. So the Doubledays avoid a double play, but it is a 1-6 fielder's choice for the first out. So Martinez is wiped, as that will bring up Bobby Stang. Well, why not have Bobby Stang run into a baseball? He's a strikeout victim in the first time at bat. But with 16 doubles, 22 RBIs, anybody can score with Bobby swinging the bat. Does not have to be in scoring position. Wenrich with good speed as well. First pitch to Bobby, a breaking ball, spoiled foul. Down the first base side, he probably wants that one back. That was a hanging curveball right over the heart of the plate. Bobby has done his hurting against Geneva so far this year. His lone home run did come against these Red Wings. Move back to first base. Wenrich there standing. That's a very slim lead. He does have a couple of bags stolen on the summer, 3 to be exact. But he knows the power that Bobby has at the plate. Doesn't want to risk getting hosed out. Really gets a good jump, swing and a miss. The throw down to second base is not in time. So just as we were mentioning the savviness that is A.J. Wenrich on the bases, there's his 4th bag of the year swiped. Timed the jump perfectly on Hayden Smith. It's a fastball outside. Bobby swung through it, but the catcher and Brendan Stolley had no chance with Wenrich's lead. He started out pretty much a step and a half off the bag and then just started creeping off, and took off as soon as he saw the leg lift. So runner now at second. No balls, 2 strikes, the count to Bobby. Takes a look in. Wenrich dancing off the bag at second. Smith a couple of looks. The 0-2. Fastball runs up and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is bread and butter for Bobby right now this year. Runners in scoring position, a .432 average. He's 16 for 37. 21 runs batted in that stretch. Short lead at second from Wenrich, working out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball spiked in the dirt, but it gets stopped by Stobley. Keeps Wenrich aboard at second. Count now evens up at 2-2. Couple of Georgia Southern boys out on the base pass. You have Wenrich at second, then you have Bobby at the plate. Hayden Smith looks in, first base side of the rubber. Takes a look at Wenrich, working out at second. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 3. 3-2 the count, and you have to pick your poison on who you want to face in this spot. Would you rather face Bobby Stang or Garrett Prosper? You do have a base open if you would rather face the left-hander who doesn't have the ability to take you out of the yard as easily as Bobby does. Wenrich working back to the second base bag. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball over to the third base. Cameron Boardman has it. Looks Wenrich back, throw is low and in the dirt, but it's scooped out by Eppinger at first base. Back to the bag is Wenrich at second, and now there's 2 away for Garrett Prosper. Prosper 0 for 1, a ground out to short his first time up. But his runners in scoring position stats are about as identical as Bobby's are, maybe not the RBI numbers. Bobby does lead the team in that aspect. But Garrett is still batting .400 with runners in scoring position. Wenrich with a healthy lead dancing off second. The first pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike at the letters on the outside corner, 0-1. The count to the Doubledays, extra hitter. Got the start in left field last night in Elmira. Did not like the feel of the grass out there at Dunfield, the uneven turf. Said his hips and his ankles were really barking at him this morning when he woke up. Wenrich dancing out the bag at second. Here comes the 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball taken outside for a called strike 2. Doubledays are going to have to battle with 2 strikes here. Runner in scoring position in Wenrich, and you can certainly hear the frustration coming from the Auburn faithful behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Wenrich is lead off second. Saram in his back pocket. Smith looking back. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball taken outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Prosper lives to see another pitch. Sam Huff with a towel over his neck. He's ready to get back out on the mound. Hopefully with a tie game going into the top of the 5th. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Wenrich off the bag at second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball slapped through the left side for a base hit. Here comes Wenrich, getting the windmill. Up with the ball is Knight. Here's the throw. It's going to be sailed over the catcher. And Brendan Stabile motoring into second base is Garrett Prosper. RBI number 13 on the single to left field. A.J. Wenrich cruises home from second base. And the Doubledays have equalized this ball game. It is 1-1. Well, that's Garrett Prosper just taking what's given to you. It's a fastball on the outside corner. Just slaps it through the open 6-hole in left field with Saram holding on the runner. We're just overhearing a conversation with Prosper about bat length. He says he swings a 34-inch bat for a reason because he likes to be able to flick anything off the plate away and slap it into left field. Very similar to what happened in that last at-bat as Christian Melillo stares at a first pitch fastball down low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. But a tie game here inside Falcon Park. Of course, we had it come with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Prosper. Melillo with a 1-0 count. Prosper off the bag at second, the 1-0. Swinging a pop-up foul, third base side. Boardman giving it a look. He's running out of room. And he just ends up making the catch against the netting. How about that? It looked like Boardman ran out of room and somehow ended up with the baseball. But the Doubledays have equalized it 1-1 as we go to the 5th inning. Well, apologies on our end. We're trying to get a dead camera back up and going. As we begin here in the top half of the 5th inning, Sam Huff back out for another inning of work as a first pitch fastball runs off the plate away. Ball 1 to Cameron Boardman, who made an excellent catch down the third base line in foul territory, right up against the netting of the retaining wall, was able to hold on to the baseball. 1-0 pitch, fastball inside, jackknifes Boardman as a fastball sails to the backstop. 2 balls and no strikes to the Geneva third baseman. Huff now with a tie game in hand, looking to keep this one where it's at. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way to Boardman. Breaking ball taken off the inside corner for ball 3, 3-0. It's been the walk so far that have hurt Huff so far in this one. The one run that came in to score was led to a walk. A 3-0 pitch. Fastball runs right in the meat of the back of Boardman as he'll undo the elbow guard and the shin guard and make his way down to first base as Bobby Stang gets a new baseball from the home plate umpire in Mick Lum. Hit by a pitch, runner at first base for Wyatt Pichette. Struck out his first time up, 0 for 1. Boardman with good speed aboard at first base. Huff working from the set. First pitch, check swing on the ground over to third base. Huff with a little trip. Woolley with the baseball throws on to first base, and it's in time. So more of a modified sack bunt, if you will. The check swing by Wyatt Pichette. Grounds out to Woolley, 1 away. Runner moves up into scoring position at second base, and that will bring up John Aller. Aller popped out to third his first time up. That was with runners at first and second. The infield fly rule was called in effect. Huff looks in, first pitch, slider. Good stop by Bobby, keeping the baseball right where it's at in the batter's box. 1 ball, no strikes with 1 away. Dolan keeping Boardman as close as he can at second base before backing to the second base position. Couple looks at second. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball well outside for ball 2, 2 balls. And no strikes the count to Aller. Say more and more names who are not on the original roster for both of these ball clubs. We're seeing more and more new guys enter in every day. Couple looks at second. Here's the 2-0. Swinging a pop-up foul, first base side out into the crowd. And so we'll try it now at a 2-2 count. Check that, make that a 2-1 count, excuse us. Walker playing in with the sunglasses on. Sun still shining right into the right side of the infield. The 2-1. Healthy breaking ball taken on the inside corner for a called strike. And now the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield for the Doubledays shifted more to the pull side. Woolley playing about a step and a dive away from the line. Fernando Espinal playing as deep as he can in the 6 hole. Saw him taking ground balls earlier. Has excellent range up the middle as a pitch is sent into deep left center field. Going back on it, Emil Sander. Runner tags, makes the catch. There goes Boardman for third base. Sanders' throw will be cut off by Espinal. And Boardman's in at the third with a headlong slide. So a runner at third base with 2 away. Huff now 1 out away from getting out of this one with a still tie ball game. That will bring up the center fielder and 10 hitter in this one, Nate Milk. Milk, it's been a very slow start to his summer. 5 for 36, that gives him a .139 average. One of those hits being a double, only has brought in 2 runs. First pitch is a breaking ball that runs upstairs and spins down Milk like a top. Fastball was just coming up right for the ear hole. Ends up ducking out of the way for ball 1. Huff back out on the rubber. Looks in from the windup. Here's the 1-0. In the dirt, good stop by Bobby, and it's 2-0 now. Geneva with the go-ahead run at third base. That was Cameron Boardman who reached on a hit by a pitch. 2-0. Breaking ball misses down low for ball 3. 3-0 the count. Doubledays have a couple of guys working in the bullpen right now. We have a right-hander warming up, and we can't see exactly who it is from up here. We'll give you more information when we get it. The 3-0. So I'm going to foul back to the screen. Now goes a 3-1. Right-hander warming up. It is number 31, Joe Gleason, making his possible first appearance since going down with a shoulder issue a couple of weeks ago. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Good fastball runs up above the zone. And now Huff has a chance to get the strikeout to end the inning. Only 2 strikeouts so far in this one. Huff looks in, gets his sign from Bobby, sets up inside. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a foul back to the screen. So we'll try it again at 3-2. Well, Gleason went down back on Saturday, the 24th of June. So it's good to see the right-hander from Mansfield back up and throwing again. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a pop-up, shallow center field. Emil Sander, he's there, moving over to his glove side. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. Huff leaves him stranded at third base. We now go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Doubledays and the Red Wings are tied up at 1-1. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, 7, 8, and 9. Hal Walker Jr. will lead things off. He grounded out to third his first time up, 0 for 1. Doubledays are equalized with the Red Wings, 1-1 our score. For Geneva, their first run came in the 2nd. The Doubledays' first run came in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Wind starting to blow in just slightly from left center field as the first pitch comes in. Fastball taken outside for ball 1 ball, and no strikes to Hal Walker Jr. Hal and I talking a lot about Cleveland baseball over our time together, whether that's been the batting cages or even in the dugout during games in Newark. The 1-0 taken down low for ball 2-0. And one of the talking points came up was the smell of roasted peanuts in the ballpark. It's $2 peanut night here in Falcon Park, but it's just one thing that we don't see enough in baseball, and that is roasting peanuts back in the ballparks. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball taken down low for ball 3-0. Two smells of baseball that never get old. The smell of the dirt getting dragged along the infield, and the smell of roasted peanuts throughout the ballpark. Smells that you don't see here at Falcon Park. The 3-0 taken inside for a called strike 1. It's 3-1 now. Can't drag infield dirt when it's all turf now, but I guess you could still get a rubbery smell from that. It's just not the same. Here comes the 3-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive, falling in and falling down into right center field for a base hit. Hal Walker Jr., he snaps an 0 for 19. Give that man a baseball. He's earned it. The Doubledays have the leadoff man on at first base, and that will bring up Michael Woolley. There you go, Hal, finally getting back on the hit board. Mentioned his last hit came against the Syracuse Saltcats. It was a double in that very same right center field gap. This one not hit as firm, but it all falls in the same. So healthy lead back in. Ooh, just barely in time. Walker Jr. makes it ahead of the throw coming from Hayden Smith. As time is called as now, Michael Woolley will take a walk down the third base line to Ben Julian in the third base coach's box. Looks like he needs some confirmation on signs. Something that Julian was harping to his guys a couple of games ago, missing signs. Part of the fundamentals of the game that these guys, as much as they play this game day in and day out, they treat this like their jobs. There's still going to be a couple of mistakes. They are still young college athletes after all. Walker with his lead off first base, long pause, here's the pitch. Swing, line drive, left field, sinking in, but sinking right to the glove of Ryan Knight, who moves in to make the catch chest high for out number one. Michael Woolley stings one to left, but it's nothing more than a loud out number one. That will bring up Kevin Dolan. Dolan a ground out to second his first time up. Hit it relatively hard though, but he found the one man on this Geneva infield that you really can't be hitting the baseball to. That's the second baseman, Ricardo Reyna. That guy has been an absolute menace for the Doubledays. A move back to first base, diving in safely is Walker. He's in there safely. Reyna's been all over the place. He took a couple of hits away from the Doubledays back on that July 1st night. A couple of diving plays up the middle, as well as some diving plays in the four-hole. Dolan ready up at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Swing, a line drive right off the tip of the glove of Reyna into center field. A little bobble by the center fielder, Nate Milk. And there it is, Kevin Dolan's first hit as a Doubleday. It's a nice standing ovation from the crowd here inside Falcon Park. His first hit as a member of the Doubledays. And it was maybe an inch and a half away from being a double play. A tough break for Geneva, but a good break for the Doubledays. Runners at first and second here with only one away. And that will bring up Emil Sander. It was a hit and run. Walker was taking off. He doesn't have the best speed in the world, so you had to wonder if Dolan was going to swing the bat. It's a fastball up and over the plate. I'm going to probably hear it from Hal tomorrow when he hears this part of it. But regardless, you still have Dolan at first base, getting his first hit as a Doubleday. Hal Walker snaps an 0 for streak, so it's a good day to be the bottom part of the order for the Doubledays. Now bring up Emil Sander with an opportunity to drive in a run. Right-hander Smith looks in. Runners take their leads off first and second. The first pitch, breaking ball in the dirt for ball one. One ball and no strikes. Sander with good speed at the plate could possibly lay one down and cause some more chaos. You have the top of the order due up next. Walker dancing off the second base bag. Smith gets his sign from Stobley. He comes set. Takes a look at Hal off second. Backing away is Saram, the shortstop. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Emil Sander comes up empty on a fastball down low. Count will even up at 1-1. That's a good high fastball that Dolan got inside, was able to smack it right back up the middle, almost took the head off of Hayden Smith, and it just was off the tip of the glove of Ricardo Reyna, the second baseman, moving over to cover the bag. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way, bounced in front of the plate, but a good stop by Stobley keeps the runners held up at first and second. Good hitters count still for Emil at 2-1. Sun still setting beyond the third base dugout, leading to some nice beautiful clouds overhead. Starting to turn a little bit orange, maybe some pinkish shades. Sun is bouncing off the advertisement boards down the right field line off the wall. Couple looks at second. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball spiked in the dirt for ball three. 3-1 the count. Now the Doubledays feel like they might be in the driver's seat with their 10-hitter at a 3-1 count. Base open at third. Then you have the top of the order coming up right behind Emil Sander. So you have to be cautious if you're the right-hander in Hayden Smith. Takes a look in. Runners take their leads. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. Down low for ball four. So the table has been set, and it's for the newcomer in Fernando Espinal. So why not have your first opportunity to make a name for yourself in Auburn? You have a golden chance. Go-ahead run sits at third, and then the rest are just insurance behind him. No balls, no strikes, make that one away here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Doubledays in Geneva locked up at 1-1. Here comes the first pitch on the way. Hanging breaking ball taken for a called strike, 0-1. That might be a pitch that Espinal wants back. No extra base hits when he was down in North Carolina with the Sharks in Wilmington. Right-hander Smith looks in. Runners off their leads all the way around. The 0-1. Swinging a line drive foul back behind us. And we'll try it now at 0-2. Still a healthy crowd on hand here for another gorgeous Friday evening at the ballpark. Only have a couple more of these Friday evenings left. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away, bases packed. Smith looks in, gets his sign, the 0-2. Breaking ball snapped in, but taken upstairs for ball 1. Gets a little smile from Smith, who thought he had strike 3. Mentioned it is a very tight zone behind home plate tonight. 3 strikeouts in the game so far for Smith. He hasn't gotten one since the second. Looks in with a pause. The 1-2 pitch, swing, line drive, left center field. That's getting down for a base hit. Hal Walker Jr. can walk home. Here comes Dolan in flight. He's going to score. Everyone moves up an extra base. Emil Sander in at third. And Fernando Espinal in at second base with a 2-run single. Moves up to second on the throw. Time is called as Espinal needs to give away some of the accessories to Logan Matson, and that will bring up Andrew Drum out to the mound to have a talk with his starter. Fernando Espinal got a hanging breaking ball on 1 and 2 and just deposited it into left center field. No chance for Knight or Milk to make a play on it. Hal Walker Jr. waiting for that ball to land. Kevin Dolan was almost past him by the time that Walker started to get into his trot back home. But it's a 2-run single that moves Sander up to third base. And that moves Fernando Espinal up to second base. But that is it for Hayden Smith. His night is done. We'll have a new pitcher. It's a left-hander to tell you about when we come back on the Doubledays Baseball Network. And we are back here inside Falcon Park, here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Fernando Espinal's RB 2-run single has chased Hayden Smith in the ball game. 4 1/3 innings pitch. He's given up 3 hits. So far, he's given up all 3 runs. He's also responsible for Fernando and Emil over at second and third. So LJ Wolf now, the left-hander, takes over for Geneva. 3 ERA, 6 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, 3 runs. 2 of those were earned. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Opponents batting .286 against him. As Hazel Martinez steps in, first pitch taken down low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Infield drawn into point blank, and I don't think I would want to be someone on the right side of the infield with Hazel Martinez, the batter up, even if it is lefty-lefty. The 1-0. Swing, ground ball through the middle for a base hit. In to score is Sander. In flight, Fernando. Here's the throw. It's going to be kicked off the mound. It is a 2-run single for Hazel Martinez, and the Doubledays take advantage of Hayden Smith, and LJ Wolf surrenders those 2 runs. It is now the Doubledays leading by a score of 5-1.
Now batting the right fielder, number 3, AJ Winrich.
Well, how about that? A ground ball just right back up the middle, and that's what happens when you have the infield at point blank. You just have to hope that somebody hits a ground ball right to one of your infielders. Instead, Martinez just pokes it right back up the middle, and the first pitch to A.J. Wenrich is a fastball upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. But it is a 4-run 5th inning at the moment so far. And for the Doubledays, who have only been able to muster 4 runs over the last couple of ball games, it's a lot brighter to see. A 5 spot here in this one as time is called as Wenrich gets a fastball in the left elbow. That one's going to sting a little bit, and Wenrich does not sport an elbow guard at all. So he earned that one. That's going to sting a little bit, making his way down to first base with a slow walk. Logan Matson meets him about halfway to kind of escort him down the line. But that will bring up Bobby Stang with runners at first and second here, with still only 1 away. And time is still called by the home plate umpire, waiting for AJ to be fully ready to go. Joe Gleason back up throwing in the Doubledays bullpen. Not sure if Sam Huff's night is done yet. Couple of looks. Here's the first pitch on the way to Bobby Stang. A fastball off the tip of the glove of Stabley. And moving up to second and third. Hazel Martinez winds up at third. Wenrich winds up at second. And now Bobby has him at second and third. And we're going back to the runners in scoring position. Now, he did ground out back in the last inning, so that number does take a little bit of a hit here. So make him 16 for 38, but still has driven in 21 runs with runners in scoring position, but he also leads the ball club with 22. Can make it 24 with a base hit here. Couple of looks. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs outside in the other batter's box for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. I would say if you want to try and go to an easier hitter to face, or I don't even think you could even say easier. I guess you would have lefty-lefty to your favor. But there is a base open, and Garrett Prosper due up next. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball, taking in the dirt for ball 3, 3-0. And you have to wonder maybe if they're just going to try and pitch around Bobby to face Prosper with the lefty-lefty matchup. Mention, though, Prosper not the type of guy who you would think that if you have to go to him, you'd rather face him. I certainly would rather not have to face Bobby Stang or Prosper with runners in scoring position personally. The 3-0, taken outside for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk. Bobby Stang sends his bat down to the dugout, makes his way over to first base. So that brings up Garrett Prosper. First walk since entering for LJ Wolf. And that will bring up Prosper with a golden chance with the bases loaded. Here's the first pitch to Prosper. Fastball runs inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 9th men to the plate so far in this one. Busy afternoon for the Doubledays. Here's the pitch. Fastball runs inside, jackknifes Prosper out of the way. 2 balls and no strikes now. Now he's looking for just one specific pitch in one specific spot. Wolf looks in. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball inside for ball 3. 3-0 the count now to Prosper. And you're going to bet he probably just has the bat going to be resting on his shoulder. First at bat this year for Prosper with the bases loaded. Coming set. Here comes Wolf's 3-0. Taken down low for a called strike. It's 3-1, and now we're getting told to ramp it up into the bullpen for the Red Wings. Looks like a right-hander has started to get loose. 3 balls, 1 strike, bases loaded. Here's the pitch on the way. Down low and inside for ball 4. So that will bring in a run on the bases loaded walk. Hazel Martinez tiptoes home, and time is called once again by Andrew Drum heading out to the mound. This is the type of offense that the Doubledays are more accustomed to seeing. 6-1 our score as Drum is back out on the mound having a conversation with his reliever. You have now Christian Malillo, the switch hitter. His more power side is this right-handed side that he would be facing against Wolf, the left-hander. And Andrew Drum says his case and heads back to the first base dugout. The infield for Geneva heads back to their positions. Brendan Stabley throws the mask back on, makes his way back behind home plate. And there comes Christian Malillo with the bases loaded. And in his career so far with the Doubledays, he's batting .750 with 6 RBIs with the bases loaded. So you have the right guy up here in the right spot. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball runs up and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Malillo, switch hitter, batting from the right-hand side. He was around the left side earlier. Here's the 1-0. Fastball runs out and over the other batter's box for ball 2. Here comes the 2-0 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive foul over our heads. That's sunset behind the third base dugout, giving us a beautiful look at the clouds overhead. Christian, batting from the right-hand side so far this year, is 4 for 13. 308 average, has 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch. Taken downstairs for ball 3, 3-1, and here's your power spot. If you're Christian, this is where you get your RBIs, and this is where you make your money. 3 balls, 1 strike, bases loaded, still only 1 away. LJ Wolf from the windup, the 3-1. Swinging a fly ball, left field, medium depth. Ryan Knight size it up, never mind. Nate Milk is going to glide over and make the catch. The throw will go into third base. A.J. Wenrich slides in safely at home plate. He comes in to score on the sacrifice fly by Christian Malillo. It's now 7-1, and now the Doubledays have walked, or more or less batted around, with Hal Walker Jr. now coming back up to the plate here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. I'm pretty sure Christian will say he may have just missed that one. He still hit it pretty deep out to left field. That ball had a little extra carry on it. So that brings in another run. Here's the first pitch to Hal Walker Jr. A fastball runs up and away for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Geneva held Auburn to 1 run back on the 4th of July. That was a solo shot by Riley Brody. Crowd getting into it. Here's the 1-0. Taken down low for ball 2, 2-0. Remember, there is a mercy rule here in the PGCBL play. 10 runs after 7 innings. 7-1 our score, only part of the way there. Bobby off the bag at second, Prosper off the bag at first. Here's the fastball taken low for ball 3, 3-0. LJ Wolf is now struggling to find that command that he had since entering on. Hayden Smith got the start. He was responsible for the bulk of this inning. Here comes the 3-0. Taken upstairs for a called strike 1. 3-1 the count, maybe on a little more generous of a call from the home plate umpire. 10th man has come to the plate and batted. Here's the 3-1. Swinging a pop-up, first base side, going back on it is Eppinger, running out of room towards the retaining wall. He reaches out, but he can't make the catch, so Hal Walker Jr. survives another pitch. It will now be a full count at 3-2, and the runners will have a head start. Bobby staying at second and Garrett Prosper at first. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Doubledays with a 6-run lead here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 6 runs have come into score already. Hal can put something in the gap. He could make it maybe an 8th or a 9th run. Runners take their leads. They go off. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. And that will retire the side, but the Doubledays strike back. They get 6 runs as we now go to the top half of the 6th inning. Doubledays leading 7-1.
To building a positive, proactive partnership with our citizens, assisting our city's resurgence, being a part of history. Experience how it feels to serve the ones you love. Expect excellence and join our team today. Visit auburnny.gov.
Hey fans, the Doubledays will return to action right here at Falcon Park tomorrow night when they once again take on the Geneva Red Wings. First pitch is 7:05, so please be with us as Monarch is calling for Survivor Night as well as a fireworks show after the game. And both events are sponsored by our good friends at Hematology Oncology Associates of Central New York. So please join us at tomorrow night at 7:05 against Geneva.
I make this shit straight good. Flexing on me cause I could. Run up on me what she would. Look, twerking fat in the hood. And I'm still up in the hood. Asking about me, do I good? Look, homie just threw me a pack. No, he ain't playing impact. They don't really wanna know they cap. Said it twice, but I know that's facts. Hold up. Four seasons, still won't be 4 seasons. This from the hood, I had queens. This street fresh and Yankee. So many clips for the day. But I'm getting bust today. Homie, you get bust today. Guess you out of luck today. Better not up the rent. Better not up them rates. Better not up them rents. You will get touched no base. Steak no brunch, no toothpaste. You will get baked no souffle. Resist shots, no 2K. You will get hit no touche. Yeah, they lie on your back if you pull up in front. You get licked on the dynamite. Know that we from the city like Jimmy, but you know it don't look a dynamite. Look, we don't throw bumps like we do funny. This shit's a little crazy. Call me a prick, I was feeling too lazy. Yo, I be shit crazy. I be like, off you pay. No, I got drip, my shit too wavy. Cop pass like crap in the 80s. Get stressed like Downs and Clayton. Straps up like newborn babies. If we get off today, send this up today. Run up on me, test your luck today. A little thing they gon' investigate. I make this shit look good. Flexing on me cause I could. Run up on me what you would. Look, twerking fat in the hood. And I'm still up in the hood.
After a 6-run bottom half of the 5th inning, the Doubledays have a commanding 7-1 lead over the Geneva Red Wings. That does it for Sam Huff. He's done after 5 innings. Gives up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walked 2, struck out 2. Hands the ball off to right-handed pitcher Joe Gleason. Just a couple of weeks ago, went down with a collarbone issue as a first pitch fastball runs inside for a called ball 1 on the leadoff man Tyler Saram. For Gleason so far this year, 1-1 start with a 3.38 ERA. As a fastball runs inside at the letters for a called strike 1, evens up the count at 1-1. 3 games, 1 start. Does have a save. 10 2/3 innings pitched, the 1-1. Fastball taken outside for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. 7 hits, 4 runs, they were all earned. Walked 3, but has struck out 11. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way from Gleason. Fastball runs up and inside. And time is called as it looks like it actually did nick the jersey of Tyler Saram. So he's aboard with a hit by a pitch. Now time is called as Ben Julian goes out to ask whether that one actually did run up and inside. Saram ducked out of the way of the baseball that was coming in. Gleason does throw rockets around the mid to upper 80s though with the shoulder tightness or whatever was the reason for his injury. More or less not an injury, but more of a discomfort, we should say. Haven't gotten an accurate read on the radar gun yet. Now Ben Julian still having a conversation with the home plate umpire tonight in Mick Lum. And now it looks like both umpires are going to have a conversation with each other about the possible hit by a pitch. So I don't know if you're going to be able to overturn this one. First base umpire is a mile away. Doesn't have really a good view either of the play. And this was a quick conversation. They're still going after it. And yep, they're going to call it a hit by a pitch. So a runner aboard.
And the second baseman
at first base here in the top half of the 6th inning. That will bring up Ricardo Reyna, the second baseman. He is 0 for 2, couple of ground outs to shortstop, and you would love to see another one here. Just wipe away that one as fastball taken down low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. That one at 81 miles an hour. It's going to take a couple of innings for Gleason to get back into the swing of things on the mound. Was he only allowed to throw last week? Fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Gleason with a fastball slider. Works in a good curveball every now and then. Comes set, working from the first base side. Here it comes. Slider misses down low for ball 2, 2-1. That slider is certainly something that Gleason has been wanting to work on since coming into Auburn. Started having some different grip mechanics. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, taken on the outside corner for a called strike 2, and the count evens up at 2-2. Gleason trying to become more of a strikeout artist, especially if he can get that velo back up to near 90, maybe even in the low 90s. Move over to first base, back in with the dive safely as Saram at first. Opponent's only batting a .189 on Gleason so far this year. The walk has been the only bugaboo for him. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a fly ball, right center field. Wenrich in retreat. He's there to make the catch. He's got the throw back into the cutoff man, so it is a shallow fly out. 0 for 3 day for Reyna so far. One away, that'll bring up Andrew Eppinger.
First baseman, number 41, Andrew Eppinger.
Eppinger 0 for 1 with a walk. Didn't go anywhere besides first base in that first inning. Gleason looks in, he comes set, working from the first base side. Here's the first pitch. Good slider taken on the inside corner for a called strike 1. Mentioned that slider, something he was been working on at the very end of his freshman year at Mansfield University, joining Jake Houts and newly incoming freshman Alex Buccolo. Swinging a line drive, foul off the facade of the netting. That's why it's down there at the first base line, right in front of the crowd. So we'll try it at 0-2. Might see Alex Buccolo a little bit later on. The rumor has it that it could be him following Gleason. Did get the outing out in Geneva. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Saram with a lead off first. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a line drive back to the screen. A little tardy on an inside fastball. We'll try it again at 0-2. I believe his parents are also in the crowd tonight. I've been renting out campsites during the weekend. Quick 4-hour drive home. A slider in the dirt taken for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. His family has been at every single game during the weekends. So hopefully they've been able to make their appearance up here for this Friday night to watch Joe pitch. And a move back to first base again, and a little bit of a tighter play at the bag. Saram just beating it out. On the head, long slide back to the bag. Walker with a good tag. Safe is the call. Saram still inching off that first base bag. Gleason keeping a close eye. The 1-2. Swinging a foul ball down the first baseline. Everyone watches it head off into the bullpen. So we'll try this again at 1-2. Eppinger putting on a pretty good battle at the plate. Right-hander Gleason looks in. Bobby Stang letting some signs from the squad. Gleason likes what he has. He comes set. Stang sets up blown away. Saram with the lead off first. The pitch in the dirt, but a good stop as Gleason slipped on the mound trying to get the throw off. Swiping away some of that extra turf or sand, whatever is put on the landing spot on the mound. Second time we've seen him slip on a mound this year. This is the first time inside Falcon Park. Here's the 2-2. Swing, ground ball right to Gleason. The throw to second for 1. Never mind, it's off the bag of the shortstop in Fernando Espinal. So it's a throwing error by the pitcher. That puts runners at first and second here with still only 1 away. And it was looking like it was going to be an inning-ending double play. Instead, it puts runners out in first and second here with 1 away. Top half of the 6th inning. Jason Shockley, the batter, now due up. Ground ball right off the end of the bat to Gleason's glove side. His first pitch is a slider swung on and missed, 0-1. Looks like Gleason tried to go around the other side of the mound instead of trying to go up the ramp. Just sent a throw, pulled it off. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, a good slider back to back. It's a foul tip in the glove of Seng for strike 2. Gleason has a man right where he wants him at 0-2. Runners first and second, they take their leads. Hal Walker Jr. playing in front of the runner at first. The 0-2. Ground ball right to Dolan. Flips over to Espinal for 1. The relay to first base is low, and it's not dug out by Walker. Here comes a run in, and Saram, he's in to score. On the second throwing error of the inning, it's now 7-2 our score. A tough 6th inning for the Doubledays on defense. Back-to-back errors. They do get 1 out at least on the ground ball up the middle, but Espinal just couldn't get a strong throw, and Walker couldn't really get a good scoop on it either. 4-6 with an E6 on the play. First pitch. Slider misses upstairs for ball 1. Saram hit by a pitch. He comes in to score. 1 ball and no strike to shot. You make that Stobley. Swinging a foul down the first base side, so we'll try it at 1-1. Still a beautiful day for baseball on hand. The light shining down here on Falcon Park. Temperature just perfect outside, even though we might be in the AC booth. The 1-1. Swinging a ground ball foul, first base side, so we'll try it again at 1-2. More PGCBL action coming up here. Later this week, we have a game tomorrow against these Red Wings back here at home. Firework night. Will be expected a big crowd. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball pulled offside. For ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Doubledays head off to Newark on Sunday the 9th. Scheduled day off on the 10th. Home Run Derby will be that day. And then on the day of the MLB All-Star Game on the 11th. Fastball spiked in the dirt, but a good stop by Bobby Stang keeps the runner and Shockley aboard at first base. Count runs full 3-2. We have now added a doubleheader to that game on July the 11th. I'll be against the Niagara Power, trying to make up that one game that was supposed to be played on the doubleheader, which was actually that the June the 24th. Runner takes off on 3-2. Fastball misses outside for ball 4. So a 2-out walk brings in a runner at first and second again. With still 2 away. That will bring up the left fielder and Ryan Knight to continue the inning. This game was going along rather quick until the bottom half of the 5th inning, and then we have screeched to a halt. First pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Gleason, don't know how many innings of work he's going to be allowed to go. I'm sure he's more on a pitch limit than anything else. Right-hander looks in. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Good slider runs on the fist of Ryan Knight, and now the count goes to 0-2. Gleason 1 strike away from getting out of this one. Runners at first and second, they take their leads. The stretch, the 0-2. Taken for called strike 3. Gleason is able to get out of the jam. Runners stranded at first and second, but a run does come across to score. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Doubledays lead it 7-2. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, the Doubledays have a 7-2 lead over the Geneva Red Wings. That closed the book on LJ Wolf. He goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up a hit, 3 runs. They were all earned, 2 walks and 1 strikeout. That brings up newly entered right-hander Vincenzo Terracino. 0-0 start to the year. In 1 game, he's thrown 2/3 of an inning. He's given up 1 hit, 5 runs. They were all earned, walked 4, struck out 1, ERA of 67.50. As the first pitch from Michael Woolley is swung on and missed, 0-1 the count. You just have to kind of put a question mark on how long you're going to let this guy go along in the summer. Only not even a full innings of work, 2/3 of an inning of work, and he's given up 5 runs over a span of 1 hit as a fastball is spiked in the dirt for ball 1 off the knee guard of Brendan Stobley. So he's going to need to take an extra second to walk away from the catcher's box. But you're taking a look here, 4 walks. So you have to wonder if he just put the nickel in the merry-go-round and everyone just kept on walking around the bases. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch on the way to Michael Woolley. Taken inside for a called strike 2, and the count rolls to a ball and 2 strikes. Michael looking to join the hit parade here tonight. 0 for 2, ground out and a line out. Really barreled up the baseball back in the 5th inning. Little pause. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball, cued off the end of the bat over to first base. Eppinger's got it. Covering the bag at first is the pitcher and Terracino. It gets away. Backing up the play is Stobley, the catcher. Back in at first safely with a dive is Michael Woolley. There's been so many instances where we've seen first basemen throw the ball away from the pitcher covering the bag. That's another instance where Michael Woolley, he can run well down the line. That causes the first error of the ball game for Michael Woolley. He's aboard at first base, the beneficiary of the error. That will bring up Kevin Dolan with a man on. Couple looks, the first pitch. Swing off the end of the bat, falling into the glove of the center fielder, Nate Milk, who is on his horse into right center field. Kevin Dolan stung it hard to right center. Just does not come up with a base hit this time. Back-to-back times we've seen Dolan hit the ball hard, so a lot of good things to see from the young second baseman. 1 away, that will bring up Emil Sander. Mentioned Dolan, the hometown kid, always gets a little bit louder of an applause from the crowd here inside of Falcon Park, and rightfully so. First pitch to Sander is taken inside off the corner for ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. Woolley with 2 stolen bags on at first base. We're kind of shocked that we didn't see him take off in that Dolan at bat. Did only see 1 pitch, however. Healthy lead off first base. Corner's pinched. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a pop-up foul over towards the first base side, and another run for the baseball commences down the first base side. Count evens up at 1-1. It's one of the better crowds we've had this year. $2 peanut night, so everybody has hopefully enjoyed their salty snacks. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Woolley aboard at first base, slowly working off a lead. Eppinger holding the runner on. Good breaking ball gets swung on and missed, 1-2. Ricardo Reyna, the second baseman, playing a step or 2 close to first, or rather second base, I should say. That doesn't matter. He's got some of the best range we've seen from an infielder in the PGCBL West Division this year. Can need about 2 hands to decide how many hits he's taken away from the Doubledays this year. Little pause, the 1-2 pitch. Fastball spiked in the dirt, but a good jump by Michael Woolley. He's in there safely at second. The throw gets on to center field. Woolley advancing to third. Here's the throw to the third base by Nate Milk. It's not in time. Michael Woolley ends up from corner to corner on a ball in the dirt, and then a wild throw by the catcher and Brendan Stobley. Make that an E2 on the play after the wild pitch. Woolley ends up all the way around to third base. And now Emil Sander, all he needs is just a ground ball somewhere up the middle, and that will get a job done. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away, Woolley now aboard at third base. Infield playing deep. Little pause, here comes the 2-2. Fastball pulled outside for ball 3, 3-2 now. We haven't seen a ball game yet where the Doubledays have batted around twice in a game. Come close a couple of times. The Doubledays have batted around once and almost got the second around a couple of innings later when they sent up 7 men. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way, taken down low for ball 4. So the third time in this ball game that Emil Sander has not even needed to bring his bat to the plate. Now we'll bring up the top of the order in Fernando Espinal. Fernando is 1 for 3 so far with a 2-run single back in the 5th inning. Strikeout and a ground out to the second baseman, Ricardo Reyno, who maybe even took away a hit from Espinal back in that 3rd. Sander, healthy lead off first base, runners at the corners with 1 away. There goes Sander. Pitch is taken inside and a little buff throw to 3rd base. So Emil Sander swipes second base on the defensive indifference. Runners now at 2nd and 3rd with 1 away. Right-hander Teresino, he comes set. Now the infield's drawn in. Here's the 1-0. Fastball inside, spins Espinal like a top. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Espinal wearing a familiar number 4 jersey that we saw Harrison Campy sporting around during the month of June. Well, summer ball teams, as soon as one guy leaves the clubhouse, another one enters. Same number, same position even. Here comes the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Goes chasing after a fastball upstairs. Tries to get his A-hack on. Count rolls to 2-1. Doubledays looking to bring home a couple of more runs and make that mercy rule more realistic. 1 run in for Geneva in the top of the 6th inning. 2-1. Breaking ball taken outside for ball 3, 3-1. And Stabley really wanted that one to be called. Like we mentioned, Milk Lum, the home plate umpire, has had a very, very tight zone so far this entire ball game. It's been apparent so far this inning. 3 balls, 1 strike, infield drawn in at point-blank range. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball inside for ball 4. So Fernando takes a walk. He'll head to first base. Back-to-back walks here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And who else but Hazel Martinez comes to the plate. Hazel delivered a 2-run single his last time up, and now here comes the pitching coach out to the mound to have a quick talk. And we do have somebody up and hot and ready in the bullpen down the right field line for Geneva if they choose to have a new pitcher face Hazel Martinez, but that is exactly what happened last time out. LJ Wolf was called on, the left-hander, to face the hardest part of the Doubledays lineup, and he did not end up in a very good spot. Once LJ Wolf entered, it was a 2-run single, hit by a pitch, a walk, an RBI walk, a sacrifice fly, another single, or excuse me, make that then a strikeout to end the inning when the Doubledays bat around. So the bases are loaded once again. This time, Hazel Martinez gets a crack at it. Hazel 1 for 2 with the bases loaded this year. He has brought in 4 runs. With runners in scoring position, he is batting .313 on the summer so far. Add a couple of more RBIs and another hit on that aspect. Entering in 5 for 16. He is now 6 for 17. First pitch. Swinging a foul just behind a fastball on the outside corner. Hits it off the facade of the overhang that covers the rest of the fans behind home plate. Michael Woolley aboard at 3rd base. Emil Sander aboard at 2nd. Fernando Espinal over at first base. No balls and a strike to the Doubledays power-hitting left-hander. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Spiked in the dirt, but a good stop by Stabley keeps everyone held up at their own bags. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Sun completely set beyond the 3rd base dugout, needing all the lights that are overhanging high above Falcon Park to be our light source. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. In the dirt, gets on through the wickets of Stabley. Here comes Michael Woolley in to score. Everyone moves up 90 feet. It's the Doubledays adding another run. It is now 8-2, and they back to their 6-run lead. So that error now comes back to hurt the Red Wings. Everyone else moves up. Emil Sander at third now. At second now is Fernando Espinal. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away. Martinez the batter. Infield drawn up point blank. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a foul right off the handle of the bat. Martinez having a little off balance. Spun his back foot a little on that swing. The right-hander, Teresino, looking to only give up that 1 run. Martinez looking to add to his RBI count today. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses outside for ball 3. Now the count rolls to 3-2. A very dangerous hitter due up next in AJ Wenrich, and then we all know who comes up after him. Runners take their leads off second and third. The right-hander, 3-2. Swing, ground ball up the middle for a base hit. In to score is Sander. Here comes Espinal. You can walk home. It's another 2-run single by Hazel Martinez. It's now a 10-2 Doubledays lead. RBIs number 16 and 17 come across to score on Hazel's second 2-run single of the ball game. That will bring up AJ Wenrich now with a runner on first base. AJ looking to get on the hit column as well. An 0 for 2 night and then a hit by a pitch. Did reach on a fielder's choice. First pitch misses down low for ball 1. It's been a great night for Doubledays offense. We mentioned the 4 runs that they were only able to muster in the last 4 games. They have brought back the firepower in 10 runs so far tonight. Fastball runs down and inside off the skipping turf for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Wenrich. Couple of bodies starting to stretch in the Geneva bullpen. But right now they're just playing mop-up game here just to keep this one where it's at. Martinez a lead off first base. Little pause, here's the 2-0. Swing and a pop-up. Right field, Wyatt Pichette moving in. Never mind, make that the second baseman. Ricardo Reyna having to move all the way over down the first base line for the out number 2. Wenrich flies out to the second baseman. 2 away, that'll bring up Bobby Stang. As soon as that ball was hit, I thought that was a pop-up into shallow right field. Pichette, the right fielder, was actually holding both of his arms out looking for the baseball. Ricardo Reyna, though, luckily he was the one able to find it. Was able to move all the way over to make the catch. First pitch to Bobby's a fastball outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. An 0 for 2 night so far for the Doubledays backstop. A strikeout, a ground out, and a walk. Set up the Prosper bases loaded walk in the 5th inning. Pitch swung on, blasted to left field, but it is hanging up for Ryan Knight. He's waiting for this ball to come down, and he makes the catch. Bobby just missed a breaking ball over the part of the plate. And the side is retired. But Hazel Martinez drives in 2 more on it as well. That's a wild pitch to the backstop. We now go to the top half of the 7th inning. The Doubledays have a commanding 10-2 lead. Picking things up here in the top half of the 7th inning, the Doubledays have a big lead, 10-2 over the Red Wings. Joe Gleason back out for another inning of work as the right-hander delivers a first pitch fastball foul back to the backstop by Cameron Boardman. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 due up for Geneva against Auburn. Gleason gets a new baseball from the home plate umpire for going back and trying to dry off his hand on his right leg. Boardman with an RBI single back in the 2nd inning. It's one of the 2 runs that Geneva's been able to muster tonight. The 0-1 pitch is sent foul down the first base side into the coach's box. No balls and 2 strikes now the count to Gleason, looking to get his 2nd strikeout of the ball game. Ended the top half of the 6th inning with a strikeout to Ryan Knight. The right-hander Gleason works from the windup. The 0-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss. A good fastball on the outside corner. Gets the swing and strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. That will bring up Wyatt Pachette, the right fielder.
Now batting the right fielder, number 26, Wyatt.
0 for 2 night for Wyatt so far. Strikeout back in the 2nd, and then a ground out to the 3rd baseman back in the 5th inning. It's been a low night for Geneva's offense. First pitch. Slider sent back to the backstop. Foul ball, 0-1. We're taking a look at Auburn's pitching so far, and you want to compare it to the offense for Geneva this year. It's not been pretty. The 0-1 pitch from Gleason, fastball pulled outside at 86 for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Auburn's pitching staff has allowed a higher batting average than the team average. 226 opponents hitting off this Doubledays pitching staff. A swing and a miss on a good fastball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Geneva batting only a $175 against all opponents this year. It's been a very down year. Geneva now at the very bottom of the division. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a foul off the tip of the glove of Bobby, who couldn't hang on to it. So we'll try it at 1-2 once again. Auburn's only given up 96 runs as a pitching staff. I feel like with that run differential of plus 38, it'd be a little bit better of a total on the wins and losses, as a good slider gets a swing and strike 3 from Pachette. Gleason twirling a good gem here over the top half of the 7th inning. 3 strikeouts in a row for the Doubledays right-hander. And that will bring up John Ayler. 0 for 2 with a pop out to the 3rd baseman and a pop out to center. First pitch, fastball runs up and inside. Gleason did not want that fastball to go there. That's going to be a frustrated batter running down to first base. Gleason's not throwing as hard as he would certainly like to, especially since he is coming off that clavicle issue. As it looks like we have Alex Bucalo warming up down the left field line into the bullpen. Well, him and Gleason, high school teammates for a while. Runner at first base takes his lead. The pitch. Fastball outside, taken for strike 1. On the count to Nate Milk, who's mentioned a couple of offers. Gleason, the right-hander, looks in. Runner takes his lead, the 0-1. Slider misses down and away for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike, the count. So we got a Mansfield University on the mound, and we have another commit heading to Mansfield in the bullpen. The 1-1. Slider misses outside for ball 2, 2-1. And that pitch that we were talking about, Gleason was trying to develop, has certainly started to show its life here over his last couple of outings. Now, granted, he's only had a couple of starts in between. Here's the 2-1. Runner takes off, taking outside for a ball. The throw to second base. Tag applied by Dolan. Does he hang on to the runner sliding off the bag? No, he does not. The runner's foot stays on the back end. It's a stolen base for John Ayler. Puts a runner on at second base here with 2 away. Three balls and a strike now to Milk, with the top of the order due up next. Here comes the 3-1. Fastball zips in for a strike at the top of the zone. It's now 3-2. Not lighting up the radar gun quite yet, but give him a couple of more outings. He might be touching those upper eights like he was earlier in the year. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, foul down the line, slicing away, and it slices just foul down the line. Looked like it was just going to be a foul ball right off the bat, but then it just kept on tailing away. Tailing in, it was looking a little bit closer than initially thought up here. Regardless, it's a full count, 3-2 still. Nate Milk the batter. Runner on second here with 2 outs. Gleason working from the first base side. He comes to a lean in, looking for the sign from Bobby Stang. Gets what he likes, he comes set, takes a couple of looks. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back to the screen, so we'll try it again at 3-2. Fastball still sitting in the mid-8s right now, which is totally fine for Gleason after his first outing since hopping on the limited injury list. We'll try it again at 3-2. Milk the batter, leaning in with a backward stance. There's the pitch on the way. Runner takes off, and it is taken outside for ball 4. So Aller makes his way over to third base on a defensive indifference. He's there at third. Moving up to first base is Nate Milk, so we will send the top of the order back up with Tyler Saram. 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run scored for the leadoff man. First pitch from Gleason, sent foul down the first base side, so we'll try it at 0-1. That bat boy's been a very busy kid running back and forth this whole night. He's been quite busy with the amount of foul balls that we've had so far tonight. He's going to be tired by the end of this one. The 0-1. Slider misses down and away for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, this game was speeding up rather quickly. We were in an hour, or by the time I should say we hit the hour mark, we were just getting wrapped up with the bottom half of the 4th inning. It's been a slow snail pace now as a fastball runs upstairs for ball 3. Make that ball 2, excuse me. 2 balls and a strike now the count here to Saram. Runners at first and third here with Gleason. Working the pitch, swinging a pop-up, foul territory. Hal Walker Jr. ranging back. Does he have enough room? Yes, he does. He makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. The Doubledays leave 2 men on for Geneva. We now go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Stretch time here inside Falcon Park. The Doubledays lead it 10-2. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and we are in mercy rule territory. The Doubledays just need 2 lone runs, and they will walk away from this one victorious. Garrett Prosper, Christian Malillo, and Hal Walker Jr. all do up 5, 6, and 7 against Vincenzo Terracino. Here's the first pitch from the right-hander, taken inside off the plate for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes, and quite frankly, still have not an idea where that strike zone is tonight. We've seen it for 6 innings full, more 6.5 innings now at this point, and we just don't really have an idea of where that strike zone is yet. The 1-0 pitch taken low and away for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. I want to try to make your way out to Falcon Park if you're in the Finger Lakes area. Family-friendly environment, lots of good baseball, good times to be had. The 2-0. Fastball runs inside for ball 3, 3-0 for Prosper. Plenty of games still on the docket left over the next couple of weeks. We just also have added a couple of more games on the schedule. On the 20th, we'll be playing an NYCBL team. That is a TBD on the opponent, the 3-0. Taking on the outside corner for a called strike at 3-1. Make that the Finger Lakes Falcons. That's the team who we've added on the 20th. Sandwich in between a Newark Pilots and a Geneva Red Wings game here at home. Little pause. Terracino's 3-1 pitch on the way to Prosper. Taken up and away for ball 4. The leadoff man's aboard with a walk. Air Prosper, man, just somehow always finds a way to make his way down to first base on a walk. That is walk number 12 on the summer so far after his 2 walks tonight. A couple of RBIs, including an RBI on that last walk. So that brings up Christian Malillo. Christian had a sacrifice fly run come in back in the 5th inning. Prosper the leadoff, first base. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball runs up and away for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Malillo entering into this ball game batting .281. Double, 3 triples, and a home run. 14 RBIs, now 15 after the sacrifice fly. Prosper short lead off the bag at first base. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way to Malillo. Swinging a pop-up. Center field straight up the chute for Nate Milk. Moves in, hat flies off. Makes the catch for out number 1. That will bring up now Hal Walker Jr.
Now batting the first baseman, number 18, Hal Walker Jr.
Hal got his first hit in what feels like a millennium. He was 0 for his last 19 and then struck a single into right center field, and that started the whole 5th inning rally. Came in to score courtesy of the Fernando Espinal single. Move over to first base. Prosper back in with a dive as the ball was spiked in front of Andrew Eppinger. We will try this now. Prosper with his lead off first base. Walker the batter. First pitch. Swinging a foul back to the screen. No balls and a strike. There's now a deep navy blue night sky overhead overlooking Falcon Park. Just another glorious day here in upstate New York. Right-hander Terracino ready. Prosper with his lead off the bag. Eppinger holding him on. The 0-1 is taken down low for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike evens up the count. Carson Gross, Riley Brody, a part of the 50-50 crew working behind the dugout tonight. Wouldn't you know it, Carson is always finding some more fans to talk to. He's found a couple of kids in the area. The 1-1. Fastball runs upstairs for ball 2, 2-1. What you gotta love about these guys is they're getting a minor league treatment in a way when they're playing here up in the PGCBL. Almost all these ballparks used to be professional for the New York Penn League. Minor league baseball used to run up here in the Finger Lakes. The 2-1 pitch to Walker Jr. Fastball spiked in the dirt for ball 3, 3-1 the count. Players, though, they get a pretty much professional treatment. Nice clubhouse, at least here in Auburn, a beautiful clubhouse down the left field line. It's been a fun environment to be a part of. The 3-1 pitch, spiked in the dirt for ball 4. Prosper taking a round around second base. He will hold there. Walker makes his way down to first base. So the winning run now sits at second base, who can end this ball game via mercy rule. So that will bring up Michael Woolley with an opportunity here with runners at first and second. But the kids all line up down the third base side right around where the bullpen entrance is. That's where the players come out of the clubhouse to enter onto Leo Pickney Field. And there's kids just lining up baseball schedules. First pitch to Woolley in the dirt for ball 1, 1 ball, and no strikes. Carson right now signing a couple of baseballs for some fans down there behind the Doubledays dugout. They're working the 50-50. Just a great man of the people. All of these players have been so great. The kids always make their way down, and I guess I have great conversations with them. Talk about baseball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing, line drive, roasted down the left field line into the corner. Here comes Prosper in to score. Here comes Hal Walker Jr. getting the wave on, in flight. Here's the throw, it's gonna be cut off. Hal Walker Jr. glides across home plate. It's a 2-run double, and the Doubledays end this one in a mercy rule. Final score of 12-2. Michael Woolley, he's gonna get a couple of guys going after him. Hal Walker, I will apologize to you about that speed comment earlier in the ball game. You are flying around second and third, getting the wave on and easily coming in to score. The Doubledays win it against Geneva by a final score of 12-2. We'll give you the happy totals coming up next here on the Doubledays Baseball Network.
You guys did the 50-50?
No, we did not. 50-50? What are we doing about that? We did it? Oh, I guess we did it already.
Okay, somebody got it?
Did somebody get it?
5855019. Let me see. Maybe I lost the winning ticket.
They can help me out over there. We're still trying to finish up the
Okay.
process here. Doubledays take down the Geneva Red Wings by a final score of 12-2. A lot of good things to go over. First of all, the offense, welcome back. Finally came back alive in this one. The Doubledays scoring 12 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors. They left 5 on base. But they got advantages on those walks and hit by pitches, those free passes that Doubledays pitchers have been trying to avoid all season long. Kind of hurt them back in the earlier part of the game on the pitching side in the second inning, but then it was shut down from there. But back to the Doubledays offense. After only scoring 4 runs over the last 4 games, the Doubledays came back and finally got themselves back into those double-digit numbers that we like to see at 10 more runs against Geneva. The Doubledays have just been swatting the Red Wings so far this year. Doubledays now improved to a record of 11-13. We'll have to take a look at the rest of the league before we're able to make a decision on where that makes us in the standings. Geneva falls to 5-17. They will go down. Now maybe 11 games back, 11 and a half back. Who knows? But for right now, it is a Doubledays victory. They're going to feel good down the left field line to the clubhouse. We're going to feel good up here, and we hope you all feel good tonight, Friday night. Tomorrow, it's a big night at the ballpark. Cancer survivors come to the park. We will also have a fireworks show after the game, as well as a t-shirt giveaway. So plenty of good things to go over. And, well, we were talking about Carson Gross earlier in the broadcast. Now he's on the field with one of the Doubledays' biggest supporters running the bases. What a great thing to see. Thank you, Carson, for all you do. And thank you to the Doubledays for all you do. It is a final here from Falcon Park. The Doubledays swat down the Red Wings by a final score of 12-2. We'll see you tomorrow night. My name's Trevor Curl. Have a good rest of your Friday afternoon and evening.